everybody. As the title says, we got new Autocross tires. It's not very often that tires actually come in a box, so we get to do an unboxing of these. I kind of feel bad for the FedEx guy because these weigh 67 pounds each, and the boxes are kind of torn up from having to carry them, but normally tires are shipped in twos anyways, but we will get these torn open and get our first look at the new tires that are going onto the car. Alright, as you can see, I'm not running the Falken RT660s this year. Nothing wrong with those tires. I really like those tires. I just wanted to give something else a try. You can't say that that's the best tire if you've never ran on any other tire. They're not Yokohamas. I would love to run some Yokohamas, but Yokohamas are quite expensive and I can't afford them. Hit that subscribe button, help your boy out. But these are Nankang CR-1s or CRSs. They're changing names, so they've kind of gone by two different names. Still the 315 by 30 by R18s. So same size that I have as in the Falkens. I'll try to get some measurements, see how these compare to the Falkens, compared to width-wise and all of that, especially once they're mounted up. I'll have all those measurements. Alright, so looking at them, you can see that the tread pattern changes as you go across. So that means, or most likely, as it says on here, this one says outside, and then we got a inside in here. I think the Yokohamas might be similar. I'm not really sure on that, but that will actually. One disadvantage of these compared to the Falkens, because the Falkens I could take off and flip on the rim because there is no inside or outside. So then I was able to mid-year through the season get a fresh edge. So that's one thing that's gonna kind of suck with these is I'm not gonna be able to do that. I'm gonna have to run them the same on the rim, which is kind of also nice. I wanted to actually take them off the rim and put them back on the rim way through the season. But it means that I'm going to get more wear, mostly on the outside is what my car does. So that's one thing that's going to kind of suck. So it says that it's made in Taiwan. So we got the date code right here. It says 3321. So that's week 33 of year 2021. So these were, was that about mid-season, summertime of last year, at least this one. I'll have to see if all the other ones are similar to that. Yeah, this other one says week 27 of 2021, so they weren't made all at the same time, but they were all made at least, hopefully, in 2021. So as far as price, when you're looking at these do look cheaper, but once you factor in the shipping, which these are only shipping from 2 retailers that I was able to find, and they did not offer free shipping. So once you factor in shipping, these came out to almost the exact same price as RT660s from Tire Rack, which has free shipping. I think the difference was like $40, which is practically nothing when you're spending $1,500, $1,600 on tires. So I don't think price should really factor into if you're trying to choose these over the RT660s. So as you're probably aware, these are 200 treadwear tires. These are what you would want for Autocross. For the cam class, you're able to run down to 200 treadwear. For all the street classes, I think they're all down to 200 treadwear. So these are the kind of the top of the line tires that you want for Autocross. But I'll get these all mounted up here shortly, and I'll get some comparisons in the heights and widths and all those measurements of between the two tires. So far, really the only negative that I can see on this is that I won't be able to rotate it on the rim at all throughout the season. And another thing to note when mounting up your tires, you got the yellow and the red. I believe you line up the yellow with your valve stem, so that'll just make it a little bit easier for balancing. I'm not going to get these tires balanced because it's just on an autocross car that doesn't really drive on the street, but if you were doing it, that would help with getting that balanced out. That's usually like your low spot, or I don't remember the difference between the yellow and the red, but that's one of these is what you would want to line up with your valve stem. Off to tire mounting. So let's first compare the tires unmounted. So we got the RT 660s here, the Nankang CR-1s here. They are the same height when they're unmounted, which is good since they're both 315 30R18s. They pretty much look pretty similar in their size and everything like that. Where we kind of get some difference, once we get them up, you can kind of see that this one definitely has the brim protection going on. There is a lot more meat coming out here along the outside compared to this one, to where you have the inner bead here. And that is really noticeable once we get these mounted onto the wheels. So we'll look at that next. All right, now for them mounted up on the wheels. As a reminder, these are 18 by 10.5, which is unfortunately a little narrow for 315s, but they are still within the manufacturer's spec for the tires, so they are still good to mount on, but they do pinch the wheel in just a little bit. It's not as noticeable on the Falcons because it has this wheel guard or something built into the side of the wheel, which is pretty nice. But looking at it on the Nankangs, which do not have that guard on them, it does look a lot more pinched in. I think the optimum size for like these 10.5s would be like a 295 tire. Unfortunately, neither of these guys really make a 295 in the right aspect ratio that I want. Falcon does make a 295, but it's a 295/40, which just makes the overall diameter much larger. I think it's like a 27-inch tire, where these are like a 25-inch tire. Nankang, their next size down would be a 285, which I think will give a little bit more of a stretched look on the 10.5. The 285 would be better on like a 10-inch tire from the research that I've done. Maybe I should have tried the 285. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it in the future. It would be nice if if the tire manufacturers actually did make a 295. Yokohama does make a 295 in the right size aspect ratio and everything, but it is much more expensive than these tires. Maybe next year Continental will come out with their Autocross tire and they'll have a 295. They have one currently in the Extreme Contact Force whatever tire, which is more for track use and not Autocross. But maybe next year. But looking at these with them laid down, with them mounted, they pretty much run the same size between the two of them, which is good. Neither of them seem to be running larger or smaller than the other. So this is a good replacement for the Falcon if you're looking for something that's the same size. Some tires run different widths and tread widths and everything than their competitors. But these ones are very close, which is good. We'll look closely at this Nankang. As you can kind of see, there is more lip being shown from the tire. Then if you look at this one, you can really see that this one has this wheel guard technology kind of going around it. Shown in between these, you can really see how this one has this wheel guard lip going on where this one does not. Personally, I like the pinched look a little bit more than a stretched look. For one, it protects the wheel. How many times have you been rolling the wheel along the ground and it hits a rock or uneven or just something and it just falls down and you've busted up the lip of your wheel? These wheels were new last year, so I'm trying to keep them in decent shape. They are race wheels and I have taken tires on and off of them several times at this point. They are getting beat up a little bit, unfortunately. It kind of hurts to look at them because there's some damage that I've done to them personally. But at the end of the day, they are race wheels. They are going to get beat up. They are for racing purposes. Mounting a low profile tire, and especially one that's this wide, is quite difficult with the older machines. Ones that are newer that have the assisting arm or something like that are a little bit easier, and it'd be nice to get one of those one day, but a lot of times shops do not like doing low profile tires or wide tires just because it is very difficult and you can get nicks and things in the wheels. All right, that brings me to the end of this video. I'm going to finish getting the Falcons removed from the wheels, get the Nankangs put onto the wheels, get them all mounted onto the car, get it all ready for the Autocross. And then I'll check in with you guys probably in a later video going over kind of how I feel that these tires are doing. As I said before, really my only experience with the street tires are with the Falcons. Previously, I was running Hoosiers, and before that was like NT05s, which don't really even count as a street tire, let's be honest. But I think this will be a good comparison since the car, suspension-wise, is pretty much unchanged from last year. The only thing that I've really done to the car over the off-season has put the ABS system, and that will just keep me from flat-spotting these tires. The other unfortunate thing of Autocross is the course is always changing, so trying to get a direct comparison is going to be very difficult. So it's really just going to be how I think the tires are doing and how I'm comparing to my competition, which I know how I did with them last year, and based on how they're doing this year, what things they did differently to their car, be able to kind of gauge on how these tires are performing. I know these ones did very well, especially when they were new. So hopefully these ones will do quite well in the beginning of the season, and we'll see how they wear throughout. As I said earlier, they cannot be flipped on the wheel, which really sucks. So in that regard, that is a pro for the Falcons, a negative for the Nankangs, but that's the same, I think, for the Yokohamas. I think they are also asymmetrical tire. All right, thank you for watching, and if you want to see the update on the tires after a few events, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys in the next one.